welcome back, y'all, to Duck345. I'm here with Zuno, and we're coming to you live from the Duckcoop itself. So today we're just going to be reading some Reddit stories, and since it's spooky season, paranormal Reddit stories. Today's episode is on the paranormal and what we've experienced, what other people have experienced, and knowing what will come. I would do tarot. I have a deck of tarot cards like off to the side over there, but it's pretty hard to do when sitting, and they also don't work. You'd have to physically be with me in order for me to be able to do it for you. But I personally love tarot. One of my favorite things. What's your favorite paranormal thing? Or just thing that can be used?
My favorite paranormal thing, I'd say either an EMF reader or a music box.
EMF reader. EMF readers are really good, but they're kind of... They can be biased. They can be biased.
Yeah.
But yeah, good thing. My favorite. I meant like as in like physical things like an Ouija board or that, not any technology.
Yeah, it would definitely be on the Ouija board.
Because,
That's like really fun to use, especially whenever you're with your friends and then they go, ah! Well, you're just like.
Yeah, no, so the first time I used an Ouija board, because I didn't realize it was a medium, and until I went to go visit my biological family. Mom, thank you, if you're listening to this, thank you for, just explaining that stuff to me and just helping me through it. But, so basically, the first time I used an Ouija board, I didn't realize there was rules you needed to follow, and so I knew that you did have to spin it 3 times and 3 times to close it, but I spun it the wrong way, opened up a portal in my room, and so now my room is haunted by a lot of stuff, and that's why I was getting made fun of at school, is because, I have a group of friends that were doing tarot to, like, try to get the ghost to tell us, or, not ghost, don't call them ghosts, it's disrespectful, actually, and it's actually really disrespectful.
They're entities, if I'm not mistaken.
There are a lot of entities. It's safe to call them entities, spirits, no ghosts. Calling them a ghost is very disrespectful. Because it's kind of like a derogatory...
Like, it's kind of racist.
Yeah, it's like a derogative term.
Like,
it's a really derogative term. Yeah. But yeah, so basically we're just going to dive into this. But yeah, so I'll start off by asking you, and then I'll just go into my stories. Have you had any paranormal experiences?
Well, yeah, so, like, this one time, me and my friends were playing, like, hide-and-seek tag at nighttime, right?
Ooh.
So, yeah, like, I have 7 acres of pure haunted woods. So, like, me and my friends were at a sandhill that we made, right? On the other side of the sandhill, we've seen someone, like, walking and, like, picking up sticks and stuff. And, like, we thought it was our friend, so we walked over there and nothing was there. It was just, like, we built, like, a teepee out of sticks, and it was completely destroyed.
Okay, so do you know, like, anything about what happened there? Because that might help me piece together why it could be haunted. Or have you not even investigated it?
I know that there was, like, 17 murders here. There was a few rituals in the woods. Yeah.
Okay, so just describing it, you can kind of piece together one of the murders, like, just by what you described of the man picking up sticks. Was it like a dark, shadowy figure, or was it like was it a tall shadow figure, or describe it?
It was a tall black entity, like, and it did not have like any like clothes on it. It didn't have any hats. It was just like there, and it had like long arms, maybe about like, I don't know, this long.
Ooh, yeah. Like yeah.
Yeah, like,
okay.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, that's what, okay, so what I'm thinking just by that is, like, because usually spirits that, get, like, harmfully murdered, or something, they were assigned a task before they died, and that's kind of what I'm thinking happened was, there was a camping trip, like, a group of friends, and, the group of friends hated one person, and they wanted that person dead, because they did something. I can't piece together exactly what happened, but what my guess is probably that they went into the forest, and, probably what happened was he got sent out to go pick up sticks, and so the others, while they were picking up sticks, like, jumped up on him and started, like, absolutely stabbing him or something. That could have been what happened. So here's what I'm going to see if you can do. At night, or at night as a trigger, you could reenact this event. Because if you react something that happened to that entity, because it sounds like he had an unfinished business, and if you like do something like that, it can trigger it to like show up again. So it's a
Yeah.
little bit risky because it can kind of be a little bit offensive to them. But that's my advice to you. I don't know if you
Yeah,
want
but
to do that.
also one more thing,
Yeah.
right? So like when I was walking back to my house, right? Like
Mhm.
I heard something like in the bushes, like right next to me. I shined my flashlight there. There was nothing there, right? And it was not windy at all. Like it
Mhm.
was here. It was huge, like
Interesting.
like in
I
the
don't really
bushes.
know
Like
what
if
that could have
something
been.
like yeah, like thought it was an animal at first, but then like
Mhm.
it wasn't. So like oh don't mind me, don't mind me.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I don't really know what else to say, but like we kept on like hearing noises in the woods, like riding back down my place and my friend's place,
Mhm.
and like also we heard this one very loud screech,
Oh, that's so fun. That's really
like it
fun.
was like
Could have been a cat. I don't know, but yeah, that sounds really
no,
interesting.
that thing was deep in the woods.
Yeah, if you lived close enough to me, I could come out and investigate your paranormal stuff like that. But I think you live like on the other side of the continent of America. You live in like somewhere in like the North Carolina area.
No, actually, I'm opposite from North Carolina. I'm all the way in Michigan.
Oh, that's right, you're in Michigan. Okay, so when I'm in Michigan again visiting my family, do you live near Detroit?
Oh yeah, wait. Do you know where Gladwin is?
Kind of. Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I live in Gladwin. I'm in a
Okay,
small town
okay.
named Beaverton.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. But my family, my biological family lives in Detroit, and they live in like Detroit, Michigan. And so I was out visiting them. They live in Mexican Town, and it's a beautiful part of town. But basically, if I go back and you give permission, I will go out there with my family of mediums, and we can just go out there and investigate, see what happened, and see if we can piece
Yeah.
together why your
Wait.
forest is haunted.
Okay, my mom's outside. I thought that was something else.
Yeah, no, but okay, so back to the Ouija board thing. I didn't realize it was a medium, or actually, no, I'm gonna make a cut. I don't know how long this has been, but I'll probably make one real. Anyways, back to the Ouija board thing. So basically, what happened was, I misused it because I didn't know there was rules to it, and so then we closed it. We left like a normal session, and then I started noticing things happening. And the day after, I have this gigantic hole, and if y'all don't believe me, type in comments if you don't believe me. Some of my friends, like Dylan, if you're listening to this, you've seen it. Logan, if you've seen it, you know who you are. You know who you are. And if you've been to my house, you'd know that my room is the most active, and it is really, really weird. It's a presence I can't describe, and it's like really, really eerie. And so basically, what happened was, the day after it, like it was night. I was in my bed chilling, watching YouTube on my headset, and I took off my headset to go. I think it was to grab my water bottle and take a drink. All of a sudden, I had an Axe body spray can on my shelf that's like right over there. It started like hovering. It levitated like 2 inches off the ground, or off the surface it was on, and then it slams into my wall and leaves this mark, like a divot about that
Wow.
size. And I have that in my wall currently. And then it's been a little bit more tame now that I know what I'm dealing with. And so basically, uh, it's a really long story. I think I can explain it, but yeah. And then we'll just hop more into more paranormal stuff. But I will try reading a story because y'all, I can't pop it up on my headset this time, so I'll have to read it from my phone. So it's gonna be pretty awkward. Here we go. Opening up my phone. Okay. Do we want one about an experience, or do you want one with a trigger warning slash murder?
How about an experience?
An experience. Okay, I'll just pick a random experience. Okay, here we go. Okay, this was posted on r/paranormal, a very good Reddit. And so basically, here we go. This is an experience. The title is "Had my first ever paranormal experience last night." After shutting off the last light. I've lived in my house my entire life and never experienced anything paranormal. My parents experienced my parents were already asleep. I was the only one still awake. It was around 11:03 p.m. and I was getting ready to head to my room. I turned off the last light and was still on. Turned off the last light that was still on in my room. So on which was the last light? Yeah, I've already said that. Shh, crap. My phone was off, and I heard noises coming from the upstairs outside. It was silent. I'm a silent movement. I was very shaken by this. I went straight to my room to try to debunk what I had heard, and if there was no reasonable explanation that this could think of, what could this have been? Could this have been a spirit? I like how they use the word spirit. Most people, when they're first experiencing paranormal, they go with ghost. But I like how this person went with spirit. That's great. I like that. Okay, so any thoughts on that? Any thoughts on it?
Well, that kind of reminds me of a paranormal experience that I had too, but I'll go more on detail with that later.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, that's a pretty normal like kind of story that's really really common where people's first experience is something they hear a sound that they know couldn't make, and that's when people really start believing, is when they hear something that happens. So basically, I'm going to explain this. It's not going to make sense to a lot of people. If you're a paranormal enthusiast, let me know in comments if I'm explaining this right. So basically, the globe, like think of the whole earth. Lucy's after us. If she picks this up, I'll just continue. So basically, what it is the globe has all these little pathways that spirits can take after they die, if they're still like on the mortal planet, unless they're like hooked to a place physically. But they can travel from place to place to place through these little networks of energy, spiritual energy. And if you have enough spiritual emotion, or a place has enough spiritual emotion, or just feels off, then what can happen is basically that spot becomes a hotspot for paranormal stuff, which is really exciting. And it's something that happens to a lot of the new, like, active spots, is that specific thing happens. Because it. Oh, hi there. So basically, yeah. But yeah, it's pretty common, like, and so basically, like, they can pass, like, if your house is, like, completely normal and something happens like that, you have to just stop and think, was that me or someone else? And then if it's none of that, then think, oh, it's a spirit. And that's the fun way to think about it. And if you think about it like that, it's not scary. You kind of have to embrace it. You have to learn why they did that, or why it was there. Sometimes it can be a trigger object, or sometimes it can just be them checking out a place, seeing if they want to stay there for a little bit. I don't really know, but let me know if I'm explaining that right, like in the comments. If you're a paranormal enthusiast, I'll probably call my biological parents on that one. But yeah, just drop a comment telling me about it. But yeah, I'm really big into it because since I'm a medium, I dive towards that stuff. Like, that stuff is so cool. And so this Halloween, I'm just gonna go do regular trick or treating stuff, just grabbing as much candy as I can, and then we're gonna come to my house and do a tarot session in the dark with candles. I've done it times. I've done it 2 times so far. Candlelight tarot session, and it was so much fun. It was really fun. And yeah, so I'm just gonna kind of talk about my house, the backstory of my house a little bit. So basically, my house was built 100 years ago in Moscow, Idaho, and it was built 100 years ago. And a man by the name of Colonel Mustard, or not Colonel Mustard, that's Clue. I was playing that earlier, but a man by the name of Colonel Matthews, or Colonel Thomas Matthews, lived there. And so he lived there, and this was during the time of this one war called the Fort Russell War. And my town has a lot of history, actually. And Fort Russell was a fort or a stronghold that the military built to fight off the natives that currently lived there, and it was just this heated squabble. And the natives did have it was basically two like colonies of people trying to move in, not natives. I wouldn't say natives, but because they're not. I don't think they are natives, but basically these two groups, and it was during the times when crap. Yeah, but basically, what happened was the purple ghost is there. It's funny. Yeah. So basically, what happened was since they were there, so there were two people, and my house was kind of a stable slash living spot, and so what me and my friends were able to like piece together just from doing tarot and just observations and just piecing some things together was there was a general. I don't remember his name exactly, but the general is head over colonel, and so basically the general's the head of my house. Like he's the main entity that like is there, and he's a come on, not again. But yeah, anyways, basically he's just a gigantic, like super tall 9 foot shadow figure. We've seen him a couple of times, and what's really fun about it is we were like learning about him one day after a tarot session, and we did like the whole seance thing. We'll get into seances later, but we did this whole thing to like open and close the ritual basically. And so we did that after the tarot. He's just like kind of in my corner. He's like the corner of my room. He's really chill. He tends to be a really chill spirit, except for sometimes. One of my friends at that time decided to like anger him, and that was a bad idea because then he got heated. He passes through me, I get a blinding flash in my eyes, and then I feel all anxiety like and feel like that, and I can't be in my room, so I leave and go somewhere else with my friends, and then I feel perfectly fine. And then so yeah, and then our next terror session, there's this memorial at the park, and we were just like standing around it and talking. And I don't know if the spirit considered it disrespectful, but the spirit was at that memorial, which means he has a tie to it, and so we might have disrespected it in a way. And so the spirit partial possesses my friend, which a partial possession is a possession where a person is in still full conscience. They're just driven by the spirit's intentions, basically, and they can still remember what happens. And so that happened, and one of my friends I was telling one of my friends that's close to that friend over call that he was possessed, and she's like, oh no, that's not happening. And so then I go back to the school the next day. I'm just going off topic a little bit. We'll continue after this. Hold up. And so basically, I'm just like going to the school, practicing trumpet, or helping one of my friends learn trumpet. And so then I walk out of the band room, and as I'm leaving, I was telling one of my friends that there's board games, and she was one of the friends that we had doing at the tarot session with us, or like at some point doing one of the tarot sessions. And so we have her doing it, and then I'm telling her that because I have a board games group, we play D&D and board games and all that stuff, and we were going to have a board game this Saturday, and so one of her kind of I'm not gonna call her out for it, but she's kind of got physical appearance that's kind of a little bit like and so I was telling her about that, and since my friend got the possession, we thought it was a full possession until we realized it was a partial possession. And so after one of your friends gets possessed, it's kind of hard to be like, oh, you're still my friend, I can't. So it was like one of those moments where it's like, hey, do you think you could like leave? I don't mean it in a rude way, I just kind of want you to like leave just so we can like kind of chill the vibe down after that, because like after your friend gets possessed, it's hard to see them the same way, kind of a thing. So I'll do that, and then so basically back to the band room. This woman, basically, after I tell her that there's board games, she's like, "Oh, are you gonna kick her out of your house like you did with him because she's gonna get possessed?" And I was like, no. And so and at this point I'm very angry because like she called out a passion of mine. And so I decided to destroy a passion of hers. I've explained this, some of y'all have heard it, but I decided to destroy a passion of hers, and I basically just said something around the lines of um mind my language, but this was exactly quote for quote word for word what I said. I said um shut the fuck up, you fat bitch. And so then I am like about to turn the door, and then one of the cool percussion kids just yells, nobody loves you. And I'm like, yeah, why else do you think I'm trying to do stuff to myself? And so, I leave, and anyways, that became a horror ordeal, and if the people who are involved in this ordeal are watching, kind of screw you slash, don't screw you, but yeah, it's one of those feelings. But anyways, this has to tie in because she was one of my partners that we were working with to help, but, and it was a whole thing, so we're not in ties right now, so yeah, it's a little bit sad, but, yeah, but paranormal is one of those things that's really hard to describe to a non-believer, and it's just one of those things that you have to experience before you can be like, "Oh, this is a real thing." It's also because, like, if you're tied to religion, you're like, "Oh, that's devil summoning," and I'm like, "No, not really. It's just interesting stuff to talk about." And so everybody who's or do you got something to say, or are you just stretching?
Yeah, I just want to say for like all like the Christians out there who think it's like demon summoning, there's a difference in between demons and spirits.
Yes, I can explain that, and if I miss anything, you can go over it. So basically, a demon
Okay.
is something that comes from hell that has horrible intentions, wants to do something really bad to a person, or scratch them. Physical violence, basically, is a demon appearance, and that only happens through hell spawning, which, that's why the two, like, paranormal gets mixed in with that stuff, because of seances. Seances are not that. It's a thing to welcome spirits in, to, like, be like, hey, can you, like, tell us about this, and all that stuff. People think that's demon summoning. Demon summoning's different. Demon summoning is where you draw the pentagram and all that, and it's horrible, and I don't like that stuff. That stuff is a no-go. That stuff's a no-go. And the paranormal community gets tied in with that stuff, and so everybody's like, oh, paranormal's demon summoning, and that's the main point of it. Spirits are calming, or not really calming, can be calming presence, but they're basically coming and going spirits. They're spirits that have, like, that had pure hearts and had intentions to do something on the planet before they went and up to heaven, obviously. And so they just they're chill, and they're not really anything tied to hell. I mean, they can be violent like the demons have, but they aren't demons because they're chill. So did I miss anything?
Okay, so like all that I would like to add is like when you were first explaining like what demons are, like their intentions are, like they're not like spirits and they won't fully spirits won't fully possess you, but demons will absolutely possess you and
Oh,
make you
hell
either
yeah.
die
Or
or kill
yeah.
someone.
Yeah, that's what happens. I've seen it. It's really bad, and it's not like the movies where you have a, like, crucifixion, you're like, the power of Christ compels you. It's not that. That's not how you get rid of it.
Yeah,
You
that
have to
doesn't
get rid of
work.
it. My grandpa was telling me about this because we thought it was a full possession at my house, and so we were, like, going all out like it was a full possession, but no, it wasn't. So basically, he told me that you have to channel good thoughts into the object that you think has faith, or just has faith and good hope to you. So you take that item, you put it next to the person, and then you just say words of admiration to the person that has the possession as you have it. But you have to have a good intention, good, pure, clean mind while going into it. And if I'm messing up on this, let me know, because I'm new to it, but I'm also good enough that I can identify stuff. And this isn't like phasmophobia at all. This definitely isn't.
No, but like I'm just gonna say this. You know the Conjuring House? Wait, no, not
Yes,
the Conjuring House.
it's
The
in Canada. Or
Yeah, I know. I like one of the like massive like horror movies, right?
The Conjuring.
Well, it was kind of like the Conjuring House. Yeah, like one of the wait, yeah, it was the Conjuring House. Yeah, that
Oh,
story
yeah,
was
yeah.
completely true. They just mixed up some things.
Yeah, the story was completely
Like
true. Like, that house was truly haunted because there was a lot of, so, like, if someone dies, that person's energy stays there, and if a lot of that builds up, it can have good effects, and so it became haunted. But since since after the movie, people have been coming there with, like, pentagrams and all that stuff. I don't like any of that stuff. That stuff is my no-go, and I don't like that. But basically, people have been doing that, and so the good energy that was stored from that spirit that had good energy it mixes in with that. So then there's some bad stuff that mixes in with the good stuff. And that spot was a war zone. Like there was tons of people dying there because it was a part of a war. And so
Yeah.
yeah, but the good spirits got mixed in with the bad spirits, and so now it's a big jumble of energies, and so it can be like demons there, it can be spirits there. So, and I hate when that happens because it's really bad when that happens because usually the
Like
bad tends to take over the good.
yeah. Also, like if you watch like The Boys, right?
Sam
The
and
YouTube
Colby.
group. Sam and Colby, The Boys with Eddie Narrator, Juicy, Mully, and
Yeah.
Josh.
They've appeared on
That
Sam and Colby.
like they said that actually no, that was Sam and Colby. They said that it's always a war in between good and evil.
Yes, it's
We're
always a
just
war.
in the middle of the war.
Yeah, it just like it happens there, and it's basically like a secondary fight, basically to be like, this spot's good, or no, this spot's gonna be evil, basically. And so, like in a spot where it's like the Conjuring house, you'll notice more evil than good. But in a spot where like there's tons of good people, like hospitals, you'll see more good than bad. Unless there was malicious intent from some of the people working there, then it would be bad. Yeah.
Yeah, like for an instance, like the Crescent Hotel or the Clown Motel.
Yes, the Crescent Hotel.
Like those
the Crescent
ones?
Hotel is filled with good energy.
Yeah, also, like, I'd say that the Clown Motel, right, is just filled with pure trickster energy.
Yes, yeah. There's really a bunch of different categories spirits can go into. They can go into vengeful, they can go into trickster, and they can go into happy, normal. And orbs, happy usually tends to take the form of orbs, and trickster usually tends to take form of shadow figures, and vengeful also can take form of shadow figures. So it's really a mix. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, but can I tell you my first paranormal experience that
Go
I
for it.
encountered like 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay, so like, wanna know how I found out my woods were haunted?
How?
Okay, so like I had my own like little camper, right?
Mm-hmm.
I look out my window at nighttime because I heard something knock on the window. I seen a 9-foot shadow figure.
Oh my gosh.
Coming out from all the light, and it was like this, waving at me. And
Oh,
I
that's really...
screamed, and then my grandparents came out and they were like, "Hey, what's that? What's that?" with their gun, and then they saw nothing and they didn't believe me.
Trickster spirit. That is signs of trickster.
Yeah, bro, that was scary.
Yeah, like after learning about the paranormal, you're like, oh, I kind of have to embrace this stuff for it to not be scary. For it to be scary, you have to like over and exaggerate it. Like some ghost YouTubers are like, or oh my gosh, forgive me, any of the spirits in my room, forgive me. I'm sorry, I used a derogative term, but anyways, basically the spirits, like spirit hunters, basically they use. Like, they're like, oh my gosh, look at that! Oh my gosh, look at that! Oh my gosh, look at that! And a majority of it's faked. Sam and Colby and a couple of other people are actually legit.
Like, I'd say, like, someone who, like, fakes it a lot is, like, Twin Paranormal and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, you know
It's
who
mainly
they
because,
are?
one, like, it's really sad when people, like, fake paranormal stuff, because that's what makes everybody feel like it's fake, is because there's so many people, like, faking out there. But trust me, it's real, it's out there, and it's something that I like the community to, except for when some of the community ties it to demon summoning. That's when I go, no, that's a no-go. Yeah, but Sam and Colby, like, some of the places they've been to are actually really, really, like, actually active with bad entities.
Yeah, like the Farrar school that they just bought.
Oh, I love the Farrar school. Like,
Didn't they say that was, like, more haunted than, the Conjuring house in general?
Yes. I mean, they say that about a lot of things, but yes.
Because, like, we have, like, proof on video, like, of, like,
Oh,
everything,
heck
like,
yeah.
happening.
Yeah. Like,
That's crazy.
If y'all want me to, like, actually post videos of me doing, like, stuff in my room when it's, like, active and all that stuff, like, Halloween, I'm so excited because that's when it's gonna be probably the most active.
Yeah, speaking of Halloween, what
Yes.
I'm gonna do for Halloween is I'm gonna go into my woods and I'm gonna you know those like the radios that
Oh, you mean Estes? Are you gonna try Estes?
Yeah, I'm gonna try the
Oh,
Estes method in the
yes.
woods
Do
at
you have the
nighttime and just
stuff
like
for
close
it?
my eyes. Yeah, I do.
Dude, I would buy some, like, I think I'm actually going to because of my room and I kind of want to, but it's also because I'm interested in that stuff, and people call the machines and stuff bias. They aren't really bias. Like, the really cheap, crappy stuff is bias. The good quality stuff is the expensive stuff. Like, the one device I really want, one of my friends that had that's into paranormal that I was first learning, they had an Ovilus, which an Ovilus is really cool because it's basically a dictionary
Amazing.
where it reads EMF signals from radio stations, because ghosts can communicate with that, and it will flash a word on the screen when a ghost is trying to talk, and it will say like something like one word. It will say one word usually, and then after a session of using the Ovilus, you can usually piece together some things. Not always right,
Yeah.
but a majority of
Like
the time right. And so the first time, what
whenever
what made me think that my room was haunted by like negative entities was the first time I used the Ovilus with my friend. The first word that came up was hell, and then the second word was down underneath. And I've never seen a word that long appear on the Ovilus, because Sam and Colby have only had 2 words appear on the Ovilus. I had that many, and I was like, oh my gosh, because it was like that, and so that's what made me think it was negative. So I think it could be a mix of negative, because once a spot is like haunted, as the boys have said, it's a battle between good and evil. So I think that's commencing in my house currently.
Yeah. Also, another fun thing is that like instead of being scared of like the shadow figures that are outside now, I made friends with them, and
Yeah,
now
because one,
they're
the
actually
thing you
really
want to
nice.
do is just like you want to not offend them in any way. Sometimes you just are like, if you see them, you're just like, hey there, and you just accept that they're there. You don't like make a big deal like, ah, oh my gosh, there's something over there, because that is kind of like, you know how someone like, if they look weird and all that, they're like people judging them. That's how they feel. I think it's really like that emotional tie.
Okay, so what I would say, like like how like bad people like in schools like react off of like reactions and stuff that makes them like want to like do it more.
That's
I'd
what
say
ghosts.
that's the
That's
same with spirits.
that's the same with spirits. Yes, yeah, spirits tend to do that. But paranormal is
Also,
something.
like I got possessed like 3 times and now they're stuck in my head.
So, like, what kind of possessions, though? That's what I want to know.
Like most of them just
Partial?
made me convulse like extremely bad.
Oh, okay, okay. That means
Yeah,
it's
now I just have
negative.
3 now. Yeah, now I just have like 3 like spirits stuck in my head. They keep
Okay,
on screaming, "Let us out!"
okay, so, go to your nearest, I don't remember what my mom called them, but go to the nearest shop where there's a bunch of, like, magical crystals and all that stuff. Go there, don't go to a magic shop. Go to a magical, like, a crystal shop, and then ask them to see if they have, like, a cleansing method. What I would suggest, try sage first. Try sage.
Yeah, but also sadly we don't have any of those crystal shops nearby. Like I would have to
Oh.
like go all the way to Detroit,
Okay, go to
stuff
Detroit.
like
I have a
that, and
shop.
like
I will send you the name of the shop, but basically I went there, and that's where I first was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm connected to the connected to spiritual energies and all that stuff." Was because my mom is really into that stuff, and I'm also really into that stuff because of her. So mom, if you're listening to this, I love you. And but basically what happened was this was her first time that she found out that she was a medium. How I found out that I was a medium was through the same way. So basically there's this shop that she went to, and and yeah, and so there's a shop that she went to, and this shop has a nice, like, a really kind woman who is also a medium, and her name is Connie. And basically Connie is this one medium. And so my mom walks into her shop. The first thing she feels, like, she was really stressed at the time because she was dealing with a lot of stuff. As soon as she walks in the shop, her mind instantly melts, and it's just clear, clean thoughts. And that's the sign that you are connected to that stuff. It's because if you feel that clean, clear emotion right as you walk in, like if you're stressed, you just feel it completely melt. And I can personally speak because I'm a medium that is pretty strong, not as strong as my mom, but I'm pretty strong. Right as I walked in that shop, because I was thinking about coming back home to my torture house with my parents and all that stuff. It's a whole ordeal that I can say for later, but basically, so I was thinking about that right as I walked into the shop, completely whooshed out of my mind, and it felt amazing. And so it was the best thing ever. And I want to experience that feeling again. But Moscow doesn't really have that because Moscow tends to be a more religious town. So we don't have any of that stuff here. And it's pretty sad.
Yeah. Whoa. I just lost my voice for about 3 seconds. Okay, that's good. Anyways, also apparently whenever like I close my eyes, right? Also I know like the attachments, right? I know each one of their voices.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are low pitch, like kind of like this voice, like per se.
Yeah.
Then like there's just one that is like copying my voice, which really kind of makes me mad. But anyways, like if like I close my eyes and like think deeply,
Mm-hmm.
I can hear like other things around me that aren't supposed to be there.
Yeah, that usually happens. And so what I highly advise is you get like a sage cleansing, because if you do a sage, could potentially help. It's also because one that could be a cause of your anger. Basically, it could be definitely a cause because it's the way you're describing the possessions. It was definitely a negative spirit. So, and the negative spirits tend to bring tons of emotion in with them. So I highly advise you do that. You'll probably feel a little bit better. I wouldn't say you'd feel fully better, but you'd feel a little less worse than you did.
Yeah, but also I just want to say one thing, like so in my brain, right, I have multiple personality disorder, so it kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But also they're kind of fighting against the spirits somehow.
Yes.
I can't
Yeah.
explain it. Again, it's like a war, except like it's 17 against 3.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. I really do like that. But paranormal, y'all, is something to get into, and as I've said, I've been bullied for it. And if you get bullied at your school for it, those people just are haters that will eventually get haunted, is what I'm always constantly thinking. But yeah, it's actually something that's really cool, and I'm hooked on it now. Like, it's something I really want to dive into. And so when I'm like old enough and I can like leave, mom hit me up. We'll go to that super haunted asylum in Detroit. We'll go hit that real hard. I want to go there. Or next time I'm in Detroit,
Come
mom.
along.
I mean, if you're up for the ride, we could bring you. I don't know, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it's definitely something. But since you're my staff, I'm eventually gonna buy a house that all my staff can live in at some point when they're of age to like leave. I'm hoping this happens. I don't know if it will, but if it does, I will invite you, and we'll go on so many paranormal adventures. We might even make a whole another channel for that. So I'm
Well,
thinking.
funny thing was like my childhood like dream was to do the paranormal like investigations. Like
Mm-hmm.
me and my friends kept on like talking about it, and like there's this one really haunted house, right, that's near us
Yeah.
that will pay you $1,000 to stay there for one night.
No, don't do that. Don't. I've heard so many bad things about
Yeah,
it. Because
yeah,
one, you
like
have to sign this gigantic contract saying that if you get scratched, hit, or even physically harmed, like they hire a bunch of staff to like physically harm you, basically.
oh no, it wasn't that. Like it was like their cults go there, like a bunch of like demonic possessions happen.
Ooh,
Like
no.
also one of the comments on that was that they said, well, I really enjoyed it, especially whenever my little sister wouldn't stop screaming and then they cut open her throat.
Oh,
That was
oh.
the top comment.
Yo, wait. That explains so much. That was probably a possession. If it was real, it would have been a possession. Because
No, like it was like from a cult member.
oh. Yeah, and this is why the paranormal
Yeah.
and this is why I hate when paranormal gets hooked to, like, cultists and all that stuff. That's when I hate it. Because, like, it's so sad that these two things are, like, so different, yet they get connected. Yeah.
Yeah, I
But,
do too. It just sucks.
yeah, it really sucks, and it's just something that is pretty sad because the community is great. Like, I know so many good people who are part of it. It's also because, who knows, Zeno, you could be a medium without even knowing.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I am because like I keep on like seeing like shadow figures like everywhere, just like randomly.
Yeah,
Like
how I
just
knew
like
I was
see
in.
them like
Yeah.
randomly. Like
My medium abilities go way further than anyone else's does, because mine mixes with another ability. I don't know what it is, but mine basically I can see stuff vividly around people. I can see their emotions. I can feel what they're feeling, or feel and try to like guess off of that. I can also tell when they're lying or telling the truth off of that too. And then I can
my
also,
grandpa could do that.
yeah, it's mainly because their like attachments, like, or all their thoughts melt around them basically, and I can feel off of that. And it's a really cool ability, and I love that. And and it's also just something that I've really enjoyed. And there's gonna be psychologists yelling at me like, "That's just using psychology." I'm just like, no, that isn't using psychology. It's literally a physical ability. But one of my friends, I think he'll allow me to use his name, but his name is Dylan. He's one of my best friends, and he's been helping me a lot with this stuff. He was the one that got possessed, but this man was great. I love, like, physically, I'm not attracted to this man. I just like him. He has a good energy and a good presence around him, and that makes me kind of have signs that he could be a medium. I don't know, but he just gives off good energy and good vibes, but he's also hiding a lot. And he was a skeptic, like around a level 3 at the start of before I did a reading on him, because tarot is not demon summoning like everybody thinks it is. Tarot is basically letting the spirits guide you to see what your past, present, and future could be, if that, or just letting the spirits guide you to why this place could be haunted or stuff like that. And so basically, we were doing
Yeah.
3-card pull where there's past, present, future card. And so basically, I pull his past, and it was something that he. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna specifically like say what it was, but it was that he was a very mysterious person in his past, hiding a bunch of stuff, and I tended to notice that a lot while I was friends with him in his past. So that, and then his present card, we turned it over, and it was what he currently acted like trying to find new ways of thinking and all that. His future card also said stuff around the lines of that. So I was like, oh, yeah, that 100% matches. And this man was a complete skeptic. Now he's at a level 6.
Wow.
And yeah,
So
and
like when you can.
yeah, and my room, like, I've lived there so many years that I'm used to it. Like, I'm used to the feeling, but I've had people tell me that when they come in my room, they feel a really heavy, dark feeling, like they can't breathe. So, like, they're breathing harder in my room, and I've noticed that too. And that, I've only had one instance of someone crying coming out of my room because of how much energy and emotion was there. So it's probably because it's like commencing the day of the good versus evil battle kind of happening. It might have been when the bad was taking over. Could have been that. I don't know. But it's
Yeah.
something that's like a really cool topic, but the people that don't believe it, they're missing out on something that's really fun to like take in and enjoy. Like, it's one of those things where you
Yeah.
can't,
Like
where it's like, don't knock it till you try it.
yeah. Like for a lot of people, it might seem like a bit scary, but like once you like done like years of it, it's like really fun.
Like, I've just started, and after embracing my room, it like and my spirits there, it just feels like, oh my gosh, I've unlocked a new thing that is so fun. And my parent, and to the
Yeah.
people out there that are super religious, hate me in the comments all you want, but it's something that's really, really cool. And it's not demon summoning. Demon summoning's a whole different thing. I'm not even going to talk about it because of how like negative it is to talk about. It's one of my least favorite things to
Yeah.
talk about. But it's a whole different thing. Paranormal is just investigating and believing that spirits are real, and it gets tied to that, and it's really sad. But I've probably been repeating a lot of this stuff over and over again, but this was an episode I was really excited to make because of like I knew that you were into it just by asking you if you were into it, and I'm into it. And so I was like, oh my god, like while I had my headset taken away, I was thinking about, oh my gosh, this could be something that we could do together as an episode because we're both fanatics of it.
Yeah, like I've been like wanting to like fully like go to like haunted places for a long, long time,
Yeah.
but like sadly we don't have enough money to travel anymore.
Yeah. If you ever do come to Moscow, and I will drive you down to the haunted hospital down in this town that's in Washington. It's called Colfax. They have this hospital called the St. Ignatius Hospital, and it has it has some activity, it's like a good spot for beginners to start.
Yeah, like all that I really wanted to do, like, was like just paranormal investigation, dealing with spirits, finding out what spirits want, so then I can help them go through like the
Hmm.
afterlife.
It's mainly
So
because
then they can go
I
to
think
their
the goal is mainly
place.
just to try to help them through that, but it doesn't really work all the time, so you can't just focus on that. You also have to focus on solving the mystery. So it's something about solving mysteries also, and that's what a lot of people get wrong about it.
Yeah, I try to do both. Like I've been trying to like figure out like the things that are like happening outside my window, the paranormal stuff that's happening like in the woods.
Yeah, man, I
I've
wish
been
I
like
could
trying to figure out
yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah, but next time I'm in Detroit, I will call you that I'm in Detroit, and then I will see if I can come join you. Maybe I'll bring my mom along, or my mom and my grandpa, because they're my mom, my grandpa, and my grandma. They're all into that stuff, so I'd be like, heck yeah! But it would be only if your folks are okay with it. But I would come out there. I'd probably have my tarot cards.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro,
but
that'd be so fun.
yeah, I'm probably gonna buy an EMF reader, possibly an Ovilus, and also a Estes method tool so I can like listen to it. I would get an Alice box, but an Alice box is basically an Ovilus, but an Ovilus is a little bit
Yeah,
fancier.
I'd say that the like music boxes are like really iffy
They're
because
biased.
like
They're
any like
really.
sudden like yeah.
It's also because like they are one of those things that just doesn't work very well. It's like kind of biased. It's really hard to explain it, but yeah, it's something that you can't knock till you try. It's really fun. We've been rambling for a while, so we should probably close it. But there's so much more to talk about. So
Yeah.
if you're interested, hit me up in Discord, and I can explain more stuff to you. Hit me up in Discord, and we'll just chat about it. But yeah, this has been Zeno and me, otherwise known as Duck, here for another Duckcoop podcast. So yeah, comment in Discord what you would like us to see do another topic on, and we can make that happen. Anyways, VRDX345 signing off with Zeno. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Have a great rest of the day, night, whatever it is. See y'all later.